Good
Welcome
day.
to another episode of the APL Spotlight Series. Incredible guests the world over with amazing insights, talent, energy, high vibe. I would argue that they're really here sharing that high vibe, their love with all of us. They've usually been through something. They're sharing those experiences. It could be a near-death experience, out-of-body experience. They teach that today. It could be meditation, mindfulness, and much more. We've had a White House physician to the U.S. president on, the youngest Delta Force operator, doctors, physicians, psychologists, many best-selling authors, somebody from Super Soul Sunday, you name it. It's been awesome. 2.5 years now, 200 plus shows of the main show. This is the spin-off where we take just our favorite guests and have them back on. Once in a while, we front run the main show, and that's the case today. We've got a great guest coming to us from Pennsylvania, LISA ALAXANDER. Um, Spiritual teacher for a very long time, a bunch of modalities. She does sound and energy therapy. She's an author and much more. So, Lisa, great to see you. Great to meet you today. We've been playing before the show began.
Yes, it's great to be here. And that was very fun. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Your energy's fantastic. You've been doing a lot of different stuff for a long time. Let's just cut to the chase on something. When did you first know that there was something beyond thinking, structured reality, and the way it's supposed to be? And there's something called intuition or love or the universe. And how big is it?
When I was a little girl, I had all my quote unquote invisible friends, which were my angels. And we played together all the time. And then I went to Catholic school and was told I had to put them away. And when I was 7 years old, so going to Catholic school, we were learning about the very fearful Old Testament. And then we got a new nun. I think I was going second into third grade, and we got a new nun, and she was talking about this man named Jesus, who was all about love and peace and forgiveness. So I'm laying it was Saturday night, so it was bath night. My mom would only, give me like this much water in because, she'd leave me for a little bit and come back and help wash my hair. And I was just big enough to fit in the tub, and I'm laying out, and I'm confused because the first couple nuns, God and fear, and if you don't do this you're going to be punished and go to hell. And then all of a sudden there's this really cool dude named Jesus who's just like all about love and peace. So I said, I don't understand this, God. So if everything that I'm learning now about this new man, if everything I'm learning now is the truth, then take me, I'm ready. All of a sudden I left my body, and this was the very early 70s. So we had no internet. We didn't know about what an out of body experience was. Shirley MacLaine was probably just starting out in her career. We didn't know any of this stuff, especially in rural Pennsylvania. And I'm lifting out of my body. I'm seeing this bright white light open up, like two doors, like just these two big rectangular doors open up, bright white light. I'm lifting up, my body's still there, and it's a very scared 7-year-old. I quickly said, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet." And with that thought, zip went right back into my body, and never told anybody about that experience again until I got into college. So that was probably my first really serious situation. So yeah, it was nuts. And then, in Catholic school, I tempted fate a few times and played with Ouija boards and got in trouble from the nuns and did all that. And then, human life came around, and I put it all aside, but things would rear their pretty heads along the way. And whenever I didn't listen, I always got in trouble. And I met Archangel the very first time, Archangel Michael, when I was in college. And I came home. It was February, and I came home from school to do laundry and see my folks. And I had my first, used car. My dad changed the oil for me that day. It was a very warm February. So in Pennsylvania, it was snowy, and all the ice then melted, but then froze on the roads, and it became black ice later that night. And my mom had warned me. Mom was always intuitive, and whenever we didn't listen to her, we got in trouble. She warned me, when you go back to school, don't let anybody drive your car. Well, I had that classic, tough dude on campus, boyfriend, narcissist kind of guy. I'm not letting a girl drive the car. It was my car. He didn't have one. We were going to an alumni party, and he drove that night. Long story short, we ended up in a car accident. But before it happened, So he was from Long Island, long, straight, flat roads, and we were on these windy Pennsylvania roads. And all of a sudden, I saw the whole thing, and I screamed to him. I said, "Oh my God, we're going to crash! God just showed me the whole thing." And I was a model at the time, so I was going to protect my face, so I did this. But literally before, like, we lost control of the car, and I saw the entire accident happen before. I warned him, but it was too late. And this I know now was Archangel Michael, pulled me out of my body, and I was knocked out cold. I had 17 broken bones, collapsed. It was bad. I almost died. But he pulled me out and held me until the paramedics came, and I finally, had, because we were in the middle of nowhere. It took a long time for my ex-boyfriend to go down the road and knock on a farm door and get ambulance out and all that. And then gently, when they were working on me, put me back in and said, "It's not your time. That's why we showed you what was going to happen." So, and then, periodically, I'd forget, and then I'd have a little nudge. I'd forget, I'd have a little nudge, until finally, as an adult, the walls came crashing down on me, and I started seeing angels before my eyes because they saved me from suicide. And it was just one of those where it wasn't intuitive. It was, they literally appeared, in front of me. And yeah, I tell a lot of the story. So in my book, it's called Get Forked. It's a bestseller, and I tell the story of those and how the angels came to me and how they showed themselves and how they led me to this modality that I created, because it's all about raising your vibrational frequency rate, using very specific tuning forks, very specific method. And like, to the point that, Michael, when I was like trying to figure this out, there was this one maneuver they were showing me visually and I couldn't get. It was tricky. And I literally felt a hand come out and take my hand and show me how to do this, and said, "Don't you remember we did this in Atlantis?" So it was pretty neat.
Okay, you've had a lot of experiences over a lot of time. Can
Yeah.
you share one where an angel or a loving being might have been in human form? You could have been walking down Main Street, USA. Somebody said just the right thing, sparkly eyes though. You probably had something different than that, but what is one of those encounters like?
Oh wow. Yeah, I think I'm gonna actually flip this a little differently. This was a very interesting encounter I had with a young man. So he was a veteran, and I was walking down the street, and he came up to me and started pointing at me. He said, You were the angel that came to me in the field. You saved my life." So it was a little different where I was the stranger and he recognized me as an angel. And I had this amazing psychic that I was working with when I started having all these visions. I had this incredible psychic come to me. It's too long of a story, but again, it's in the book, so someone could read the story in the book. She was amazing. She never charged me a dime. She was the real deal. And she said, "You're an incarnated earth angel, and you travel at night and you still do your angelic work." And didn't believe her. I was like, "What is she talking about?" And then about a week or two after she told me that, this young man came up to me and said, "No, you came to me on the field, and we were hit with a IUD, whatever those things are called that go off." And he said, "And you saved my life." So it was very, very interesting I'm like, "Oh, so that's what I do at night. That's when I sleep."
I love this. And for the audience, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and the rest. But some tangents from this. We had mentioned Shirley MacLaine. So we've had Britt Elders on the show, who's CEO of Shirley MacLaine. Fantastic on more the UFO galactic front, but Mother Earth wisdom as well. You can feel her. Like I bet you're feeling Lisa right now. Could you put something down in the comments about that? An emoji counts if you're shy. Also, Rachel Corpus has been on the show. And if there's another angel incarnate out there in human form, it might be her. Let's do this. Let's back up and let's tackle mankind, the big picture for humanity. There's a lot of talk about maybe the vibration going up. There's an opportunity for growth, expansion for all those who choose, just to relax a little bit more. But also, there's a cosmic kind of aspect to this, galactic even. Can you kind of cover the $1 million or $1 billion big picture here? What's it all about again?
Yeah, it is about raising our vibrational frequency, and that's what the Alexander method does. So we're about raising the vibrational frequency rate of people and planet, kind of one person at a time. So as practitioners, we work on people, but and this goes back to a lot of prophecy, including Edgar Casey, which isn't all that long ago, right? So earlier part of the 20th century, and he talked about at one time there were Earth split off into two, and so those who were vibrating higher kind of went off into one Earth, and those who stayed lower went into another Earth. Now, we don't see that as a physical Earth, but more of a dimensional Earth. And we're seeing that now with the extremes. We're kind of one way or the other. And that's what we're preparing for. And the Mayans talk about this, the ancient Mayans talk about this, the Egyptians talk about this. So we're coming up to that time of 2030, where one of the Mayan calendars, the one that kind of ticked off in 12/21/12, which is really when all my craziness restarted again in 2011, right? 11 being a very important number spiritually. And then it was leading us up through 2012 and 2013. Of course, the world didn't come to an end, but what people don't realize is there's a buffer zone around that time, prior to and after. And 2030 is the end of that after time. And that is when there's going to be a big shift. So we're either going to vibrate into this newer dimension of Earth, a higher vibration, or we're going to stay stagnant into that lower vibration. And that's kind of the crossing the road that we're at right now. We're really seeing that.
How simple is it for someone out there who's watching, who's like, I'm not sure about all this? How simple is it to just say yes to the universe and a little more love and compassion or kindness?
I'm a heart math practitioner. So in heart math, it's all about the heart. And when we go into our heart and feel, don't just think. So you think with your brain, you feel with your heart, but your heart sends more signals to your brain than the opposite. So the heart is really what controls everything. So if we're in our head, we're in our ego, and we're not thinking clearly, and we'll react based on that very egoic kind of um, operation that we're used to working from. But when we go into our heart, like Mother Teresa or Gandhi or all these great spiritual leaders, that's where we'll find peace within ourselves. And that's where we can find peace and extend peace out to the world. We can't bury our head in the sand. We do need to know what's going on around the world. Some spiritual people are like, oh, I'm not going to watch the news. It's all negative. It's all negative. But we need to know, because as light workers, it's our job to send light and energy and love to those areas that are vibrating low. If we're only worried about ourselves and what we're manifesting for us personally and not about our global community, then we're not doing our jobs here as light workers. We are one, we are a global community. And that's what we really need to focus on is do know where the darkness is and where can we send light. And, whether you pray or whether you meditate or you use, something to raise your vibration in a variety of ways. Tuning forks aren't the only way to raise your vibration. It's your thoughts, it's your feelings, it's what you put inside your body even. So we're all here to do a job, and we were all sent for this particular time. And this, at the end of every 12,000 years on this planet, geologically, we know something crazy happens. And it's not always exactly 12,000. Sometimes it's been 13, but there's been an asteroid that hits, there's been the Great Flood, and science knows this. I balance science with our spirituality. So what we know spiritually and what ancient texts are telling us, scientists are seeing and proving on this earth. So it isn't all woo-woo. We can measure it. A lot of it's measurable.
Okay, and that was lovely. Um, we've got angels, we've got Mary, Jesus, other figures, and definitely cultural figures here on Earth. But how big is it? Is it mankind? We're the only casino on the Vegas Strip? Are there lots of other loving beings around the galaxy? How do you explain it?
There are lots of other loving beings around the galaxy, lots of them. So not just our galaxy, but all the other galaxies, right? So, we're in a multiverse. Like in when you hit master level in the work that I do, we do past life regressions, but we know it's not past, it's all happening now. So we can do a past life or a future life. We can do an off-planet life or an interdimensional life and try to heal all of that. So we're healing the whole. And they're all watching us, and they're all trying to help and support us, whether they're galactic, whether they're angelic, if you want to call them ETs, whatever you want to call them, and they come in all kinds of shapes and forms. And there's both good and bad. This is a universe of duality, of left and right, good and bad. In the Bible and in other ancient texts, they talk about, the sons of light and the sons of darkness, and we're trying to find that love in between the two, and so that we're all light.
Okay, I'm gonna light some sage. We do this in most of the shows. This is a great chance for the audience to get involved. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. But we do it like in 95% of the shows. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes we've got a guest, though. It's just not time to do it yet. But I'm gonna light sage. You get to smell it in Pennsylvania. I'm lighting it here in Texas. The only thing the person at home needs to know is just to let go, let the universe and angels and others handle the details. You can smell the sage smoke. And I got a crate and barrel tea light in there. So it's Juniper Ridge sage from California, the stuff that's found in Whole Foods, I think. Very consistent sage if people are looking for some. And I've got it on my website now. And I do have that Amazon permission to get a little kickback if you buy it through the website. Need to disclose that. Okay, here's the sage. Catch a little from the smoke. Leave your eyes on the smoke. Ask angels to make it nice. I got a red-tailed hawk feather. You're already getting it, Lisa. Are you catching sage?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
if you
yeah.
don't mind, ask for flowers. We did this before the show, but ask for flowers. Ask for an extra smell that you didn't know you were going to get.
Hibiscus.
Oh, I love it. Yay. One of my favorite. I just planted two little baby on discount from Home Depot hibiscus with orange flowers to be in the future in my garden 20 feet away.
Lovely.
We've gotten 6 inches of rain this week. It's crazy. Texas doesn't get that much normally.
Yeah, we have been under lots of rain ourselves up here in Pennsylvania. So,
Okay, I'm going to put up one angel. We're going to get back to talking though after this. Here's Joy, the very first angel I do at this end. Very cosmic, very happy, high vibe. Get something private from her. Get a hug. Say got it. And then, if you don't mind, get a beautiful topic from her that you're like, oh yeah, I got this.
yes.
Okay, where are you taking us?
Okay. So, just like her no her name says, joy. We it's very easy for us these days with everything that's going on to kind of feel contracted and not feel joy and feel despair because we don't know what's going on in this world 1 minute to the next. So we need to cultivate joy within us. And if for me, like it's a simple thing. It's been raining for a few weeks here. It's been a little tricky, but I walk my dog every day. There's woods by my park, by my where I live in a beautiful park. And we go every day. We find a flower, or I find feathers because I work with angels. So I'll find 3 feathers every single day. And it's just amazing. And just to take that time and bring that joy into you because that vibration will reach out. Like that'll go through the whole park that I'm walking in. And to smile to everybody you meet and bring that joy. And I don't know where my dog is. He's around here somewhere, but they are joy. And always remember that even if you don't have your own. So that's what I was feeling, that it's more than her name. She's just trying to say this is a time that you need to bring me joy. We need to bring this to ourselves and to the whole world.
What's something someone can do daily to try to just bring in a little more light, a little more calm, or to walk a smoother path?
It's as simple as the breath is just taking a few moments, even if you can't clear your mind and meditate. It's hard, let's face it, it's hard for a lot of people to meditate. And that's why one of the things that we do when they hear the sounds, they say, I can't meditate, but I can, when you give me the sounds, I feel like I'm having this out of body experience because it's the vibration. So if you can just breathe in a specific vibration or a specific color, just picture a color, just take a minute or two, ground your feet if you can get outside and put your feet barefoot on Mother Earth and feel her energy come up your feet, up your legs, up into your heart, and then bring that up and then bring light down from Father Heaven, bring them down together to your heart. And that's kind of a little bit what we do in HeartMath as well, is centering everything in your heart. So if the symbol for the heart chakra is as above, so below, the Star of David. So picture that, bring the light from above and the energy from Mother Earth at your heart. Feel that love here, and then expand it out all around your biofields, all these fields around you. They just reverberate out further and further. And you can do that in just a minute or two. It doesn't take long.
And I'm going to do one of those show notes again. We had Bruce Cryer on, HeartMath CEO, I think, for a little while, from the West Coast. He was on the show. People have to look it up, though. Go to my main website for the full guest list, and you can figure it out that way. But he is wonderful, 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 and a lot of fun. I'm going to put up Charlotte next, a teacher, angel. If you don't mind catching a little bit of light, whether your eyes are open or closed, and definitely catch a topic, get something private, get a compliment, and another new topic, an adventure to take us on.
Again, this is going back to just simple as her name. We're all teachers. I actually went to school to be a teacher, and I'm a teacher now of this modality, and I teach spiritual concepts. But we're all teachers in our own way. If you're a mother, you know that you're teaching your child something every day. If you're a mother of a pet, you're teaching them every day. But it's also, teaching people. I'm a talker. Like, I'll just start a conversation with someone in the grocery store line, and but what you need to do is listen. So before you teach a lesson, listen first. So what they need to be that lesson. So they might be having a bad day. They might be going through a divorce. They might, their mother might have Alzheimer's, their child, something. Listen, and then teach them something wonderful about themselves. Even if it's just something is, do you know how strong you are? You're a really strong person to be dealing with all this. You're very blessed. So you're teaching them that they're valuable. And a lot of people forget that we're all valuable. So if you can teach somebody those simple lessons to value themselves, to love themselves, and be the teacher, to everybody.
Okay, and I'm gonna sneak in a photo of Mother Teresa. She's
Love her.
great, and I love when she said laughter is love, but she says also compassion is like a deep breath for many. I think she might have said that one in 2014. But that just meant we're all running around so fast up here. We're so busy that the closest we're going to get to our hearts often is a breath during the day, a big breath. Here's Mother T. Catch some sparkle from her, catch something private, and then what's her reminder from her to all of us through you?
To smile and laugh more, just to laugh more. She worked with children, so she laughed and she played. No matter how old she was always kind of a child because she worked with the children and the poor and the this line. But she just had this love for children, and you always saw that in her. No matter how old she was, she understood to have fun too, So even though she worked in something very difficult, but she always had a smile. She always had a smile.
I love this. I'm going to put up some Archangel photos, but you're already, super plugged in. So once you get a glimpse, just close your eyes, see what you get on your eyelids, whether it's a visual vision or just a reminder, but then you'll get something to share with us when you're ready. And anybody at home wants to do this, you can do it. Just either leave your eyes on the photos or when you've locked in, got it, close your eyes, get something on your eyelids. Just you can share what you want to share in the comments. That helps others let go a little extra, but just enjoy what you can enjoy when you can enjoy it. No try Yoda, and I'll do Yoda's voice if you need humor at home. Mm, do not. There is no try. And yet, Archangel Gabriel said, always try. So it ain't about the words. And maybe you can talk to us about how it's really the vibe or your energy, what you totally have focused on with the Alexander method and everything else. There's a whole kind of not lesson in there, but a reminder for all of us. You're already there. Okay,
Yeah.
first, what did you get with your eyes shut and a little bit of humor doing Yoda?
Yeah, that was great. I'm a Star Wars fan, so I appreciate Yoda. And it is just do don't try. I got a message from Uriel in that the one picture you had. You had Uriel in there. And it goes back to Uriel's name means the light of God or the fire of God. And it's about bringing light into ourselves, bringing light into our communities, bringing light onto this earth. There's a lot of darkness right now. So we need to bring light into ourselves and expand that into our community. And, a lot of people, we get so wrapped up in our own stuff. Believe me, I know I've been going through a lot of personal things right now with the craziness going on in the world. And but there's lots of studies that show that volunteering will actually make you live longer. And when a lot of people become seniors, they think of the traveler, this or that, they just stay home. But getting out and volunteering in your community in whatever way that looks like for you is bringing light to your community, and it's bringing light to you, and it'll help your cells regenerate. It'll help you literally live longer. So Uriel is all about that light of God, the fire of God, and we want to bring that into ourselves and extend it into our community in whatever way that resonates with us.
Huh? Brilliant. Okay, I've got a secret angel just coming in, not secret in any like weird way, but just it's Abraham or Abe, the Abe of old, Abraham of old. On everyone's team, fatherly, grandfatherly energy. You might get a pipe smell or um, whatever men wear for cologne. You might get something kind of manly, but the point is, he doesn't like to teach fishing. He likes to hand out fish, sort of the opposite of a lot of angels. Very down to earth, or can be showing up around town. If you don't mind catching something from Abe, he'll tell you he was a jerk when he was a human back in the old days. He'll be like, yeah. If you don't mind connecting, catching something from him, and what's his reminder for us all?
Mm, interesting. I'm actually, maybe it's just the picture, but it's giving me a real Ernest Hemingway vibe. And he was kind of an old salty fisherman, right? And it's about reading, not necessarily reading Hemingway, but about continue to learn. So, always continue your learning, because as you continue learning, you're growing. So whether it's reading, whether it's taking a course, we're here on Earth for a very short time. So this is Earth School 101. So learn all your lessons, good or bad. And even if you're going through, really bad, nasty stuff, right? Know that it's there to teach you something. You signed up, you contracted for this life. So whatever lessons are coming at you, you need to surrender to them and know that when you learn, right? However that learning comes to you, you learn from that and move past it, something even better will show up. But never stop learning. That's why we're here.
Hmm. Okay. You know some of your background or a lot of your background. Over time, you've gotten a lot of inputs or data points, some of which you may have forgotten or gone over in detail and everything in between. Um, what can you share about what you know for your either galactic background or the angelic side? Can you give just a touch more detail?
Yeah, I'm really connected to the angelic realm. I mean, there's a gentleman now. A lot of people probably know him, Stefano Di Matteis. He's the one who remembered all his lives, and it was very interesting because when I was going through the spiritual awakening at age 48, so every 12 years we go through these things, and this is when the angels started coming to me, and that psychic came to me and started telling me these things. One night I was in my bedroom. I was actually meeting with her, and she lived closer to my parents' house, which is actually where I'm at now. They've been gone a long time, and I always would sleep in my little pink bedroom when I would be here. But I said, well, they're gone, I need to step up to the big bedroom. So I slept in went to my parents' bedroom and couldn't sleep, and it just felt weird being in there. And I'm wide awake, and all of a sudden I start seeing with my physical eyes this like neon light being drawn in the air above me, big though. And it was a cookie cutout of a little angel. And I was just like, I was in so much awe. I was crying tears of joy. There were no words to describe what I saw. And it was almost like it was neon light, and you saw little sparkles coming off like a sparkler. And then when that was done, I was like, oh my God, that was amazing. That was amazing. And then it wasn't done. It wasn't done. Then this huge wing started being drawn next to it, huge. And it was Archangel Michael, because I heard that, but it was detailed. In this case, they drew every little detail of the wing out. And in my psychic friend said, well, that was Archangel Michael, because he's telling you that he's overseeing you. You're his little angel, and he's overseeing you, and he's helping get you as the light worker on your path. And then listening years later, because this was 2012, and then I heard Stefano talking about how the archangels actually made the other angels. Now we don't know for fact if that's true, right? But when he told me that, it just resonated. Like Archangel like Michael made me. He was trying to show me, here's little you, and Archangel Michael and all the archangels made the next rung of regular old angels after that. And I just found that was just I can't even put into words how I felt seeing that. So yeah.
Beautiful. I'm going to put up Charlotte and Michael. Get something private about your background that you didn't know until just now. You don't have to share it. Just say got it when you got it, and make sure you get two hugs. But then if you get something that is shareable, they'll be your press release people. They'll be your public relations officers here. Here's
Okay.
Michael and here's Charlotte. And anybody at home can put their hands out like it's a fireplace and just feel through two screens. Like literally at home, you guys have no excuse not to just put a palm out. You're in the privacy of your own apartment, your home, on the subway, maybe watching on a video, but that's okay. Feel what you can feel, don't judge. And if you need extra help, make sure your mouth's a little bit open, breathe extra. Shoulders going up and down counts as breathing extra. And some of you, 1 out of 100, are professional nose breathers, so that's fine. The nose always knows. Toucan, or whatever the name, Fruit Loops, the little bird, follow your nose. And if you don't mind getting a squeeze on the shoulder, say got it. Which one or both? Did they each give you a, was it Charlotte? Who gave you the squeeze?
I got it. I got a squeeze. And yes, Charlotte's, I'm a teacher, but also Michael. I got from both of them actually that their message to everyone was angels are always among us. They're just always among us. You know, whether
Oh.
we call them or not, they're always there.
Did you do a stint on the Galactic tour somewhere? And here's Charlotte. She's really good at coughing it up. In case you want to see that world all over again, it was a crystal. Da, 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 da. We got one of those this week. Someone got the whole, I don't remember if it was on air, off air. I think they shared it on air. Here's Charlotte, so you can get a little background filled in. But again, you don't have to share anything out loud. Let me go quiet for 20 seconds for you to take it in. She'll paint the picture on maybe you did a stint somewhere else of many, many stints, trips, lifetimes, whatever. Time isn't quite what we think it is, so that really throws a wrench into human thinking and trying to grasp any of this. Good luck grasping. It ain't about more thinking, it's about less thinking.
Yes, it is. It is about
Okay, what do you get on that you want to share and that was super groovy or cool?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in the Pleiadian realm, and they talk to me from time to time. So particularly when I travel out west, when I can see more stars, yeah, I
Can we
really.
bring in a Pleiadian? His name's Heinrich Eric A, but his real name's like a lot more syllables. Male, very loving, but the only way I know how to describe it is if you and I are five running along, we trip and fall, skin our knees. He's not running over to pick us up. The other type of love, supportive, but wants us to have our experiences first. We're at a pool party, and Heinrich Eric A, the Pleiadians on the other side of the pool. You're being escorted by Michael and Charlotte. You know how you get the lowdown on someone before you get around the pool to go meet him? Here's both Michael and Charlotte. Here's something about him first, privately. Unconditional love figure for folks at home. And when you're ready, go ahead and have him come in and just feel what you can feel. And he should easily make an impression.
Mhm. Got it.
And does he have a reminder or something, or what was your impression of him?
He gave me something very personal, so I'm actually
Oh,
not
yeah,
quite
no,
sure.
no, you don't. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely not. Maybe next time we're having you back. You'll
Next
be
time.
airing in 2026, but if we're really lucky, end of the summer, you'll want to come back on for a spontaneous one. Let me do this. Let me show a little light on my fingers here, but we'll let the universe step in and
Mhm.
then we'll see where that goes. And maybe some topic comes out of it or something. I am going to ask you in a little bit about dream time, out of body. Um, It'll be a little personal for you, but a moment or two that you've had stuff happen or where you've gone. It could be classes, something upbeat and fun, or other. And you'll just let us know what you want to share on that front. Okay, I'm going to use this as a background, and this is kind of out of Celestine Prophecy, the movie, but a blue sky works just great, or a black t-shirt. Um, yeah, blue sky makes all the colors pop. So I'm just going to put my fingers up. Everybody gets a dad joke. This will be a new one you haven't heard, Lisa. What's the only flower found on the human face? Tulips.
Oh.
Everyone just be in your heart, breathe extra, exhale like a whale if you need help letting go, ask angels to make it nice, and be in your heart. Your heart's doing all the seeing. Seeing without seeing, the Zen thing. What do you see for light between my fingers?
I'm seeing blue now.
Okay, now I'm going to go bigger. We did this before the show. So let the universe come in, Pleiadians, angels, Mother Teresa, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, the whole crew. What are you
Mhm.
getting now? And are you getting any object in there, or is it just swirling light vortices? What are you getting?
I'm seeing vortices and I'm seeing a blue.
Oh,
Blue
lovely.
always reminds me of Mother Mary.
Okay, I'm going to do it one different way. Just name any color you see in the lighter. Orange, yellow, normal American Bic lighter. What do you see?
White actually.
Okay. Now my finger is going to be the lighter and off the tip of the finger. But if you don't mind letting Charlotte, Michael, Joy, when you do this exercise, they're going to immediately pop in a whole new topic that you could go on all day on, and you take
Mhm.
as much time as you want on it. But here's my finger. If you don't mind just seeing a little light off my finger,
Mhm.
what are you seeing here?
I'm seeing pink.
Okay. And now what are you getting for the topic?
Transition.
What about transition do we need to know?
Um, for a lot of us, me included, even though I do this amazing modality that I love, I am transitioning into other things as I'm moving into my golden years. So I'm transitioning to other stuff, and I'm really excited about it. I haven't made a formal announcement about any of it yet. It's not anywhere on my website, but I will be. But it's also a transition for a lot of people. A lot of people are going through transitions, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. But know that it's meant to be, and accept it with an open heart and surrender. And everyone needs to go through some sort of transition with the energies that are happening right now.
Ooh, okay. So these two are two of my three business managers. There's a third named Rebecca who's from way beyond Andromeda Orion, from a galaxy far, far away where music came from. We don't need her right now, so sorry, Rebecca. I apologize. Maybe I'll sneak her in later. But can I be your guinea pig and you get to be a classic psychic medium? Anything you want, any little amount or a lot, but they'll tell you something at this end. I think I've done this once or twice out of 300 shows. So here, I'm your guinea pig. Here's something from Charlotte or Michael, and you've got permission to say whatever you want to say out loud. Filter it a little. Um, and what are they giving you that I either need to know, the audience can know, and if you don't mind using some of your psychic listening abilities to just cough up the goods.
Okay, give me a minute.
And people can do this at home. Type in a comment. Obviously, it'll be deleted if it's not nice. So I'm
Okay.
going to be really strict on that for the comments. Just kidding.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're thanking you for the work you do, right? So that you're bringing angels out there. But you too will be transitioning to a higher vibration. So your angelic work is going to change a little bit, seeing it morph into a little, ooh, I'm getting really lightheaded. So this is definitely coming through. Wow. Like I just feel like I floated out of my body for a second. That is going to be working more. You're going to be working more with the Galactic Federation and more of the Galactic Angels. Which is a even higher vibration, and that's where I'm. That's kind of where they like literally. I felt like my whole head just went up, like ooh, it was lifting out of my body. So you're going to be working within some of those frequencies as coming up for you.
That was beautiful, and thank you for your patience on that one. And I'm going to just mention the whole galactic thing because even these angels were giving some of their backgrounds, but it was only last spring. And if I've been doing this 14, 15 years, so I've just learned to kind of roll with everything and not to, it's easy to settle and be like, oh, this is how it's going to be. It's chocolate ice cream always when I walk into what do you walk into to get an ice cream cone? Into the ice cream cone place. I've lost all my English. But you've got to try other flavors and you'll be given other flavors, period. But there's a Mac, don't call her Mackenzie. She said her background originally, origin story was Pleiadian.
Mm.
Um, Min, very watery, soft spoken professor. It's serious for her, not trying to sound too serious. Angel today, and they can take you there with your eyes closed. Heather's very domestic, earth, and you'll either see her as an Amazonian kind of goddess, Wonder Woman style, or African, tall, beautiful woman. She makes hearts in her photos. I've got a gajillion hearts. Check it out on the website. Cosmic joy. Michael, I think all the archangels are very cosmic, is how I'd put it. But Charlotte, I just want to do a couple more. She said Orion for her.
Mm.
And I've got one named Dale, coached a famous gymnast, Olympic athlete we all know from the 70s or 80s who won a lot of golds.
Mhm.
His is Andromedan, along with one of my other big angels. So it's a big crowd, and I didn't know anything about galactic figures really. Had a few little experiences, but no words for it, and seeing and stuff like that. But Lyrans exist, Andromedans, a woman from Orion, Syrians, a beautiful woman from Sirius. Arcturian and Pleiadian is probably as far as I've gotten, not counting light beings. So, with your permission, can we bring in a light being, not the angel named Grace, but a light being named Grace, whose orange light enthusiasm, and I don't have anything I can show for this, but I don't think you're going to need it. I'll put up Michael and Charlotte just for character reference in case you want to. Unconditional love, light being, enthusiasm. She's phenomenal, and I love that word because it kind of covers all the bases. But if you don't mind closing your eyes, let a lot of orange light come in. And I thought light beings couldn't come in human form till last summer. They can come in and show up as humans and not be like leaking light. They're like whales if angels are like dolphins. Okay, are you getting a little bit of grace coming in? Orange
Mhm.
light, totally peppy.
Mhm.
And if you don't mind letting it hit you high and wide so that by Sunday you're still reverberating like a little Shakti pot if it's India. So you get something out of this and a lot of fun and a lot of zip. No cleaning the garage though tomorrow, like top to bottom. Okay. What is her reminder that vibes with your reminder for all of us?
Yeah, I'm still feeling that, we're that cosmic galactic family, and we have to remember that because, in this transition, there's going to be more disclosure, and they're going to be showing themselves. And we always think of the Pleiadians or the Arcturians or Orion, etc. But there's also Cassiopeia, and there are a lot of other star systems out there. So I've kind of got from her like, yeah, there's those main ones, but there's so many more, and be open to something that you've never heard of before or something new coming through. There's an elliptical orbit in coming back in 2030, which is that 12th planet that Zachariah Sitchin wrote about, and now NASA has proven. So what's that going to bring? We don't know yet.
Hmm. And if we talk disclosure or the way it's set up, it's sort of like I want to tiptoe very carefully here. The spirituality landscape is like any other industry or anything else, including disclosure. A lot of it can be driven by science, or there are certain experts that have led the way for a long time. And so they've done a wonderful job. There's so many different flavors, and the contrast is so important. And then there's so many vibrations with each person out there that they'll only resonate with this, but not that, and so on. It's like food. We like Indian food, but not sushi, and so on. But a lot of it is fact driven or thinking driven. And can you talk to us about how that's not necessarily going to be the case anymore moving forward? It's the heart. And I think that's what you've already been touching on again and again, no matter what the topic's been throughout this interview. But talk to us about how it's feeling, it's heart, it's love, and it's something beyond just going to work, the ho hum, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, eventually we won't be using words. We'll be connecting with our heart telepathically. And that's how the Pleiadians talk to me. It's a telepathic communication, right? So it's going to really come from the heart. And that's why we don't need language, because the communication is just telepathic. So it's feeling more than anything. And we know that when we feel, we're communicating so much more than words. So that's why we have to be open to all the different things that are out there, and we don't have to worry about language barriers at some point. It's all going to be communicated through our hearts. That's the important part.
Okay, and you teed us up for the next like question or whatever you call this, the next stage of this interview. Um, with your permission, only the highest intent, none of my bill paying or what I'm going to go back to, thinking when I get done with this interview, just high vibe, love and above. I'm going to put my hand up here in Texas. You'll hopefully put your hand up in Pennsylvania. We'll feel what we can feel. I'll whoosh you 3 times, but it's not going to be my energy. It's going to be a lot of galactic, light, blah, 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 a lot of amazingness, a lot of high consciousness and fun. But with your permission, could you boomerang some of that later to the audience? And can we get the audience participating so that at home, just give yourself a chance to feel it? Whether it's your heart, you have to put both hands in your heart. You need to go sing a song first to let go take a shower, walk the dog, hug the dog, talk to the dog. Dog will talk back at like a third grader if you want to pay attention. Go do the tree thing, or like she said, feet on the ground, barefoot outside on the grass, unless it's snowing and you're up in Canada. Okay. I'm going to put up 3 angels though for reference points. So you can just ask them, hey, which way do you want to take this? And they're like, go all the way. I'll put my hand up in a second. There's Min, there's a Charlotte, there's Archangel Michael. And you can start to feel or even hear Galactic crew singing like a kind of a music vibe if you want. My dishwasher just beeped, so that was funny. I'm going to put my hand up though. First, we'll go real basic, baseline. What do you feel with all of you, or your palm up? Which way are you doing it? Okay, all of you. Or with your palm. Lisa, what are you getting?
A very sweet energy. I'm feeling just this, like between our hands, right? The screen. I'm literally, it's the only way I can describe it. It's this sweet energy. It's gentle, but it's strong, if that makes sense. But there's it's sweet. There's this sweet point. It's just a collection of everything. It's really hard for me to describe it in words. I can feel it, but I can't even that's what I was talking about, telepathy, communicating with through telepathy, excuse me, is you can't even put it into words. I can't put the feeling into the words. It's crazy.
Now, can we move our hands around a little? Do you mind going to 2 hands? I'm going to drop mine. I'm going to look like a goose and double whoosh. I'll do it 3 times. No 2 whooshes, though, are going to be the same. And we're really going to not blame Canada. Let's blame angels on this, and it's not me. I'm going to just whoosh a lot of light your way. But the first one, let's go small, medium, and then large. Here comes the small. And I'm going to blow a little. My microphone's up top. You like Hawaii. So with your permission, I'm going to blow a lot of Kanapali, aloha your way. Again, it's angels. Here it comes, the first one.
Yeah, I could feel it going right up my arms.
And yeah, do you mind putting a couple more descriptors to it?
Yeah, I just felt like the breeze going up through my hands, my forearm, all the way up through my shoulders, and then going out my shoulders behind me to the room behind me.
Ooh, love it. Medium. And we can turn up the volume here. If anybody needs to do the chubby checker or Elvis first, or get out of your chair and do the hokey pokey, or do the Chinese fire drill in 1950s, get out of the car
Mhm.
from the driver's seat, go to the passenger around the car. Do something to shake it up. Finger paint works, anything. Here comes the second one. And if you don't mind also getting the backside, the xylophone, the chakra thing, your highway of alignment up and down, Kundalini Express. Okay, here it comes.
That was more like a surfing wind. Yeah, that was more like off the ocean, the surfing wind, like whoosh.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it. And we have a very oceany angel in Min. She's like Mother Hawaii-ish and more. Okay, last one. Let's go big or go home. You're already home, so you got to go big. Let's see what happens here. If you want light symbols coming in a cascade of light symbols, it beats English, and you love skipping English and going right to the light. You can do it with your eyes closed. You can also see it around you or feel it like a symphony of light around you. I'm going to show one last picture. Let's pull in some dolphins and do dolphin consciousness because they're just such great ambassadors
Oh,
for everything.
love dolphins.
Yeah,
Yes.
and joy can be a pink dolphin coming in. If you do get a whole vision of a pod, have a
Mhm.
pink dolphin be joy. Here comes the big. Let me do something. There we go. Okay, here it comes.
That was very uplifting. Yes, I'm feeling that. It's like this uplifting, as though the dolphins are pulling you up and just like kind of taking you up. Yeah, that was wonderful.
Thank you so much for being so patient with all that and participating. Okay, on the dream front and out of body experiences, and maybe you've had different rendezvous at night. And do you remember it all the time? It happens frequently, it's twice a year. Which way does this all work for you?
It depends. So, like when I'm really busy working on clients or teaching my work, I'm constantly around these high frequency vibrations. So then it happens all the time. My clients have them, I have them. Now I've been away from it for a little while because I'm dealing with personal things. So I take a step back. But I've had where, the very first one of the ones where I like just felt myself lift out and then I'm floating out of my house and all that. But one that's really cool that I wanted to bring up was I was traveling to learn for a while. And I remember being in some other school, in some other world, in some other dimension, whatever you want to call it. And we're sitting in classroom style, like long tables, and we're at chairs. And we're being taught by a reptilian. And at this point, I didn't even know what reptilians were. I really did it. Never read or heard about them, but it was a good reptilian, right? And he's teaching us, and he's standing in the front of the class, and he starts banging his head down on his table in front of him, saying, "You humans just don't ever get this." He was so frustrated because he's like, "You humans just don't ever get this. We've been trying so hard for so long." And he literally was banging his head down on the table, like, "When are you humans going to get this?" So I thought that was very funny, and then eventually came back to my body. But yeah, I've gone through different realms and portals and run into my past lives and to people I was married to in the past lives, only to find like what when I was on these travels and I would come back and I would actually research it and literally find it, like go to the cemetery and there it is, and there's her name, and there's when she died, and there's this and there's that. Like, yeah, it's been crazy, really
Okay, and
crazy.
so what do humans not necessarily, what are we not quick to pick up on?
That I don't remember. I just remember him like being so frustrated with us because we weren't getting it. And I tend what I'm kind of hearing right now is that we're all one. That we're all one. We're all God. We're all one energy, and how we treat others is how we treat ourselves. So and that could be the lesson right there. So,
And how we treat ourselves is how we treat others too. Self love can go a long way. Here's Charlotte. again, keep it private if you want. Close your eyes, breathe extra, exhale like once for me, like a whale, if you could, blow out so you don't know anything, and have her show you that moment again. And actually, you can reconnect with that teacher and just get a little laugh and have it point blank. Charlotte go in with you. She loves showing up in a Santa Fe, New Mexico white flowing outfit, turquoise jewelry, looks like Audrey Hepburn's graceful older sister. Sometimes silver hair, gray hair, elegant as heck. You can catch verbatim now and share it back with us if you don't mind going in for a retrieval. I'm going to tell a dad joke for everybody just to buy time and take a full minute if you would. It's Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, their summer retreat. They get June off every year. They earned it. And I can't tell you where. Okay, fine. Twist my arm. Banff, Canada area, palatial property. They're on their back patio, and Mrs. Claus is standing next to Santa. They're looking at a mountain range, and the sun's going down. It's just a postcard scene. But Mrs. Claus, out of the corner of her eye, she sees lightning bolts. Breathe a little extra, Lisa. Yep. She sees lightning bolts, dark clouds. Something's coming their way. So she turns to Santa and says, "Looks like reindeer." Got to do it. I don't ever take it too seriously. I've been accused of doing children's book spirituality. It's all good. Um, that person will hopefully come back in a couple of years and we'll get to do something together. Okay. Did you get a little extra? Did you have a
I,
proud moment?
I did get a little extra, yeah, because that was a very long time ago. That was probably 12 years ago that particular experience happened. And it was love. It was just all about love.
I love it. That's so cool. You just made my day. Thank you for doing all that. Um, let's talk about Atlantis a little. And what we'll try to do is, if you're game, we'll have you back on end of the summer. So I don't keep you here forever. But Atlantis, I do have two people from Atlantis, a man and a woman. I don't know how to describe. The woman is a healer, older, and the man was more leadership, not less healing, but just that way. Maybe we'll bring them in a second. We'll do Charlotte or Michael to introduce them. But can you talk to us about how there are all these different areas? Maybe we don't want to talk about Atlantis, but there's so many different dimensions and kind of background to Earth and so on. Can you kind of cover for us once again how we've popped into Earth? We're here to learn something and kind of cover it all again from
Yeah.
100,000 feet up.
Sure. Well, the original Atlantis was actually on Mars, right? And then we destroyed that planet, and then came down here. Lemurian was first in the Pacific Ocean, and then those people kind of traveled over and made their way to the Atlantis. And we know now from, again, because I do the study and the research, the land masses are there. They're there. So Hawaii is the top peaks of Lemuria. So, and then Atlantis, we're seeing it's really was probably from off the coast of the east all the way over to Europe and West Africa. But yeah, so we have kind of planet hopped. And we have been assisted. Again, this goes back to science. We know that 250,000 years ago, our genes were spliced. So what made Homo sapiens was not evolution. Something or someone literally spliced gene number two, which took us from chimpanzees to Homo sapiens and created the branch of the family tree that we as humans are on. So but for people who are religious, it's hard for them to hear that. But what you need to understand, there still is one God, and that one God, that source of love, which is just God is love. It's an energy source of love that created all kinds of beings. And then those beings went out to create more and do more and create and create and create. And then we send that information back to the creator. So we're all learning and growing through that process. But yeah, so and again, that they're now seeing that 12,000 years ago is when Atlantis crashed in, and then they made their way into the Mediterranean, and they're the ones who built the pyramids. And we now, Dr. Robert Shook out of Boston University has done the research that it was fluvial erosion on the Sphinx, which means water. So there was a time that the Sphinx was underwater. So we know that. And it's weird. If and when disclosure happens in our lifetime, it's just going to really change everyone's way of thinking. About a lot of things. So good, bad, and indifferent. But yeah, so we've been here a long time. There's multi dimensions, and science is working on how to pierce all those dimensions because they really believe in this stuff. They're just trying to find that science has to be able to measure something, and they're getting really close.
And I was peeking and looking for a particular photo to represent the two Atlanteans. With your permission, I'll put Michael and Charlotte up. We'll go to Lemuria first, and love bringing in Lemurian light. It's not always something that everyone, I don't know how to say this. It's not that they're picky, but just think pink, whitish light, a lot of knowledge behind all that stuff. And I'll leave it at that. Not for me to say, but here's Michael and Charlotte. We'll take a little pause with them. Here's something about your Mirians coming in. And with your permission, can we have you just go heart all the way? Close your eyes if you do it your eyes closed style. I'm going to lose all my English here, but have pink whitish light come in. You might like it. You might be getting it already all the time, more direct. But go ahead and, if you don't mind having Lemurians come in and share something for us. And I'm going to blow once. Okay, so I'm going to blow a little Pacific breeze your way. Bora Bora, not boring. Fiji, Hawaii. Here it comes.
So what I'm hearing from the Pleiadians is we're already here.
Okay.
I don't exactly know what that means, but they're saying we're already here.
I love it. And then this is AI, but not bad for doing Atlanteans. Here we go. I don't know if I found the exact right one, but this will work.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, and have them connect with you as just a little reminder for us all. And what are you getting?
First of all, I love your picture. I love that they're older and they're not Botoxed and they're gray. I'm loving that because I'm letting my hair go gray. And like it's okay to age naturally. So what I got from them was wisdom. You know, that there was a lot of wisdom that was lost when Atlantis fell. And that wisdom will be coming back.
Okay, we're going to start wrapping it up. I will put up Gandhi just because you had mentioned him earlier, and he's a sweetie. But while I'm doing that, we're going to have you give us a mantra. And the mantra is going to be repeated 3 times. We'll do that just before we close out the show. I wanted to give you fair warning now. And any angel can help you with that mantra. But here's Gandhi, and I think I'm 10 seconds away from bringing Gandhi in. Yes. Okay, he's a sweetie. And you can hear Gandhi clear as day, but what's his simple reminder for everybody?
Compassion for all beings. He was a vegetarian. Actually, he was vegan. So compassion for all beings. We're all God's children, you know, however you see God. And you know, we need to be compassionate to all the living things on this earth.
Okay. Are you up for one more interactive? And it's different. It's easy. It's big. It's fun. Here's Charlotte and Michael one more time. If you don't mind cupping your hands, though, like you've got a little bird or butterfly and you're 7 again. In your lap, it can be off camera. That's great. Not yet, but later you're going to open it like a book, a helicopter landing pad. You're just going to open it up, and later you'll open your eyes and look down. But let all the angels and all the Lemurians and Atlanteans and the galaxy and all the conscious loving beings bring light into those hands. And you'll get a little object out of light. So it'll be like a 3D, is it a hologram? Whatever those are called. It could be a bird, a flower, geometric. It could be a ruby that's just flashing beautiful life rhythms. It could be just this, that. Everyone's gotten something different. If it is a butterfly or hummingbird, let it fly around the room. You'll watch it. We had one person get a Pegasus. That was cool. And oh my God, Marilyn Hughes, and her show's coming out soon, I think June. And she's got 109 books to her name. She's the Out of Body Experience, like Travel Foundation. I forgot the name exactly. But she's a sweetie and off the charts. And she scrambles your view at your end. She scrambles the camera with her brainwaves. She's like the equivalent of a hardcore remote viewer. Okay, allow, and you get another dad joke. Why do all the fish in the ocean sing so poorly? Because it's really hard to tune a fish. And your eyes are closed now with your cupped hands. Let all the light come in if you don't mind breathing a little more through the mouth. And it's going to feel like all the light in the world suddenly, like your hands are maybe even going to get hot. But when you hear ready from Joy or Michael or whoever, open it up, look down, enjoy it for as long as possible. Bring it into your heart if it's meant to be smushed. If it's meant to fly, let it fly free. So it was smushable. And you don't have to share what you got, but if you do, you're welcome to.
I got a very small quartz crystal with coating on it, with information on it. So it's giving me that information that I needed in my
You're the first person that got a quartz crystal with, we'll call it writing on it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, what would your mantra be to all of us? But here's the deal. As you say it, you're going to be that ancient sage guru in India, and you're actually going to vibe it. The way you roll is, hey, it ain't about the words, it's about the vibration. So You're going to say it 3 times. And in doing so, it's a transmission. There we go. The Buddhist leaf flower sermon. So people at home can play it over and be like, ooh, I got Lisa's vibe. And if they don't know it, they're getting it 2 days later or 2 years later. Okay, Lisa, what's the mantra you want to leave us with 3 times?
Okay. It's very simple. There's no words. It's a sound. I am a sound therapist, right? So it's a sound. It's voo, voo, voo. That's voo with a V.
Lovely. Lisa Alexander, thank you so much for being on the APL Spotlight Series. You're a wonderful guest. Can't wait to have you back on.
Great. Thank you so much. This has been my pleasure. This has been fun.
Thank you again.
Thanks. Bye-bye.